Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time I am building here in Brindleton Bay, which is probably my favorite world in the entire Sims 4. I mean, there's other worlds that I really like, but I think this one is my favorite. I don't know, but either way, I had realized I haven't built here in way too long, and I thought that I would come to this world and build something for a medium to large family and fill it with plants. Those were my two goals, and I think I achieved it. And I also wanted to add a lot of clutter and also utilize as many packs as possible, which is a goal that I don't normally do. Usually I just kind of build whatever and either stick to just a few packs because it suits the theme that I'm going for, like the decorating style, or I try to make it entirely base game. But I don't really have like a goal of using as many packs as possible. I don't know if I used every one, but I was trying to incorporate a lot of different styles. So you'll notice like with the windows, there's some base game, there's some cats and dogs, there's some from Snowy Escape, and all of the like the interior style is kind of a mesh, but it still feels like a farmhouse and like this like kind of craftsman style. And so I think I made it feel cohesive even though I used a lot of different packs. So you guys will have to let me know what you think, and let me know if you like the house, because I absolutely love this house. I love the shape of it, the landscaping, the decorating. I had so much fun with this build. Like, it took me a long time to build it. Obviously, this is a very long video. I just really spent my time adding a lot of clutter and detail and trying to make it feel like a really lived-in family home, and yeah, not cut any corners basically. Just spend as long as I needed, and I just thoroughly enjoyed building this house. So hopefully you guys will like see that come across in the build and feel it in my voiceover maybe. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it basically is my point. But the house ends up having 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a dining room, a living room, a kitchen, a little laundry room. It also has like a little mudroom area next to the laundry room that I turned into kind of an office space. And that sounds a bit weird when I say it out loud, but I think it works for this house, and it works for like the family and style that I was going for, because I wanted this to feel a bit rustic, and so I think it works. But of course you guys can let me know when we get to that part of the video. And then on the exterior there is a play area with a sandbox. There's the clothesline, a swimming pool, and I also made a nice little like garden area, which I think is so cute. And I decided not to fill the garden with plants or any of the planters. And usually when I create a garden, I do go through and I have my sim actually plant a garden for your sims. But I was thinking that if you guys are interested in playing in this type of build with so many plants and a garden, you probably are interested in having your sim go through and like collect the plants themselves and plant them themselves and like build up their gardening skill. And so I decided to leave it open. So let me know what you guys think about that, and maybe for future gardening builds I will do the same if you guys agree, or maybe I'll just leave it empty every once in a while or put plants in it every once in a while and kind of mix it up depending on the build. But that's what I decided to do this time. And there's also this huge wraparound porch, which I adore. It's such a cool feature. Like, originally you probably noticed that I was going to have this extra extension on the left side of the house, and I was thinking of making like this whole master suite over in that area. But once I started placing it, it just didn't fit the house in my opinion, and I thought that a wraparound porch would be a much better fit for like the style that I wanted to go for and for like the house in general. And I think it just works so nicely. And honestly, I can't think of a build that I've done this large of a porch before. I've done tons of porches and tons of like balconies and different little like outdoor areas that are like porches, but I just don't think I've done like a true wraparound porch. I mean, maybe it's not a true wraparound porch because it really doesn't go around the entire house. There is a part of it that doesn't have a porch, but I mean, the majority of the house has a porch surrounding it. So I think that's super fun. And honestly, if you wanted to take this house and move it onto a bigger lot and create like a whole farm, I think that would be so cool. And if you guys ever decide to do that, please let me know. Send screenshots to me on Twitter. I would love to see what you guys did, because maybe you're more into landscaping and not so into building like the house itself. And so maybe that would be a good option for you guys. I don't know. But either way, I thought that would be kind of cool. And of course, I tried to think of the family that lives here. And I think there's 2 parents, but of course you could have one. I did imagine 2 parents and 2 kids in this house. You could have more kids if you want to, because there is an extra room upstairs that I turned into a playroom. It would be a pretty small bedroom, but you could definitely make it work for a bedroom if you wanted to. And honestly, there's 2 bathrooms upstairs and then another one downstairs. So really you don't need that many bathrooms. So you could turn the upstairs like hallway bathroom into a bedroom if you would like to, and then have the Sims use the ensuite or something like that. I'm sure you guys could come up with things if you wanted to have a larger family here, but I imagine 2 parents and 2 kids. And I think the parents are just really into plants. I'm not sure if they do that as their career or what their jobs are, because I didn't think about that part too much, but they just really enjoy living here in this part of Brindleton Bay next to the farms and just being close to nature. And they're all about living in this world and being close to nature. And they have like a dog and a cat and they're 2 kids. And I think it's just such a cute idea and such a cute family idea to play with. So hopefully you guys will like that. But yeah, basically they just like everything to do with plants. They like everything that you can do with plants in The Sims 4. They do. They flower arrange, they garden and harvest things and make different food out of the plants that they harvest. I don't really know all that you can do. I really need to do more gameplay, because when it comes to talking about what my Sims actually do when I build houses for them, I forget all of the options. So forgive me if there's more things that they can actually do with plants, but I know when I have played with the Sims, it's one of my favorite things to do is have them garden and grow things and collect the different plants around the world. So it's one of my favorite types of Sims to build homes for. So yeah, that's what I think the parents like to do, but maybe they have careers outside of their home, because I mean, this is a pretty big house, but honestly, you can make a lot of money gardening, especially if you collect like blackberries. I remember are worth a ton. So they could probably actually afford this house with plants alone, but who knows, maybe one of them is like a doctor and the other one stays at home and is like the homemaker and gardens and takes care of the kids. That's a pretty nice idea. But either way, and then for the children, now when I started decorating the kids' rooms, I started decorating a teenager's room at first for one of the rooms, and it was going to be like a music themed teenager room. But then I felt like I've done that a lot, and I felt like this family should have little kids, especially with the backyard. I have like a swing set and the sandbox, so I wanted, the kids to be able to play there. And then I thought about having the playroom, and so I thought they should both be children. That was basically my thought process for that. And so I scrapped the whole music theme idea, which you could definitely do for kids, but honestly, they can play like the grand piano. They might be able to play the keyboard. I'm not sure. Let me know if they can. And they can play their violins, but they can't play like the guitar or anything like that. I wish we had a children's guitar. I think that would be pretty cool. But either way, I decided to go with a more nature theme for that child, because I thought it would be fun, and it's not something I've done in a while. It's definitely something I've done before, but I put the Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, whatever you want to call it, that board in that bedroom. And then I put basically just decorations that I thought would be cute in there, but I figured that kid just really likes the outdoors, and they're kind of rambunctious, and I can never say that word correctly, but they are just kind of rowdy, and they like to play on the monkey bars and go to the parks, and they're just kind of rowdy and hyper. And so I thought that was kind of a fun idea. And then for the next kid's room, I decided that this kid loves to travel and take pictures, and so I gave them a really nice camera, and I think they can use it. I'm pretty sure kids can take pictures anyways. And then I also used that string of lights that has all those pictures attached to it, and I put that in the window, and I thought it was just really adorable. And I just added other decorations that I thought suited like the whole traveling theme. And so I figured maybe they just have aspirations to be a photographer, and they want to be like a traveling photographer, and maybe take pictures at different places and go to like the different Sims worlds. So I thought that was pretty fun. But over here is the garden area that I was talking about. So I used the scarecrow that we have in game, and there's also the bee box, and then the little bug house thing, and just different clutter items to make it feel used and lived in, and like a Sim actually gardens in this space. Like here I have this cart from the live edit objects, and I'm just placing a bunch of different decorations using the OMSP shelf, and I just placed a wall out here so that I could actually control the level of the OMSP shelf to the right height to be able to place these objects. But I just filled the cart with plants and different basically gardening decor, and I think it looks super cute, and I just love this little space a lot. Like, it would be so nice to have a little garden like that. I think it's so adorable. And I also used that archway from the Live Edit objects, which I thought was really pretty, and the fence as well. And then the rest of the fenced in yard is just the regular fence from the build catalog. But I think they work really nicely together, and I don't know, I was just really pleased with the landscaping. It came together super quick, and I thought it was really pretty. And I like all the plants that I use. I just love the Live Edit Objects plants so much. I've built a couple of builds recently where I just use the regular plants from the Build and Buy catalog, and they're nice. I do like them, and they suited the builds that I was doing, but I much prefer these plants. Like, the textures and the colors are just so much like richer and deeper. I don't know if you guys agree, but I love them so much. I'm so happy that the Sims team gave us access to these plants because I'm obsessed with them. Oh, here I found this nice little porch decoration. It's kind of like a flag banner type thing. I thought it would be pretty on this house, and I think it was, but it just didn't quite suit this build. But I definitely need to build something where I use those because they're really pretty, and they just snap perfectly to the pillars on the porch, and it looks so just like realistic. And I've definitely seen things like that in real life, at least here in the United States. So yeah, I will definitely be using those in a future build. But either way, back here I am placing the swimming pool, and I wanted there to be a little like floating lounge chair in the swimming pool, so I placed that. And then I was going to do a couple of lounge chairs next to the swimming pool, and I like them. They do look pretty, but I just felt like they didn't quite suit this build and like the style that I was going for. So I ended up swapping it out for an outdoor dining table, and I think it just looks a little bit better. I mean, not that the chairs didn't look nice, but it just suited the build, I guess, is my point. And there's also a diving board, which I thought was nice, and I really hope at some point we get a realistic looking diving board instead of those platforms, even though the platforms are nice because they don't really take up a lot of space. But either way, I want a realistic diving board. But here I'm just placing some plants next to the pool, and I also was going to place those on the porch, and I leave them there for a while, but I end up swapping them out for some benches that came with cats and dogs, because I feel like if you're going to have a wraparound porch, you're going to have tons of seating areas, which that's mostly what I place on the porch. But I do have a chess table and an art easel, so you can do some skill building on the porch, but there's mostly sitting areas where your Sims can sit and talk or eat or whatever you like to do. But over here I'm creating the play area. I was going to do like this big like large sand pit thing, but it didn't quite suit this build. It looked a bit crazy. I've done it in other builds where it totally worked, or at least I thought it did, but I felt for this one a sandbox would be more practical and just look a little bit nicer. And I also went through the Live Edit objects and found these wood planks. Now I need to play test this. I'm sure your Sims can walk over these planks because I think I've seen them in like the worlds as decoration, as like little wood planks that your Sims can walk over. So I think they work, but either way, I thought they looked really nice to kind of enclose the sand and make it feel more like a sandbox. I'm like really happy with that idea. I was pretty proud of myself for thinking of it, because otherwise I've used like one of the low-lying fences, which look okay, but they don't quite look right. And I think that looks much more realistic having those wood planks. So I was pretty excited about it, but either way, I just added some decorations on the outdoor dining table and finished the landscaping and like the train paint and stuff. So pretty happy with that. And then here I'm adding the activities and seating areas on the porch. So over here I have a nice seating area with these beautiful like wicker couches. I'm not sure what to call them, like wicker love seats, but they're beautiful and I really like them, and I thought they looked so pretty over here. I'm really happy that they came in this more neutral swatch that's a bit more usable, because those couches actually came with movie hangout stuff. And if you guys are familiar with that pack, then you know that that pack has tons of colors and patterns, which are pretty and they suit some builds perfectly. And I've definitely used objects in that pack a lot. It's one of my favorite stuff packs, but I'm really happy that that one in particular came in a neutral swatch that I could use in a build like this, because I think it's so perfect for it. And then over here in the front, I do have another seating area with another wicker set that we have, and this one came with laundry day, and it's also perfect for a build like this. And then on the side table next to them, I placed that little drink tray that came with the paranormal stuff pack, so I thought that was pretty perfect. And then I also used the table and chairs from that stuff pack as well and put a little little breakfast area is what I kind of thought. I imagined your Sims making tea in the morning or coffee or something and going out there and just, I don't know, enjoying the morning. I've said that a few different times in different builds and it sounds like kind of a weird idea, but I just like that visual in my head. It just seems kind of dreamy almost. I don't know. Either way, here I'm just adding some lights on the exterior. I definitely wanted it to be well lit since it'd probably be kind of dark with the porch kind of going around the entire house. It might block some of the indoor lighting at night. But yeah, I thought that looked really pretty. And then I also added some lights to the swimming pool. And then over here, I forgot to add some activities in the sandbox. So I add this little building block table that we have for children to play with, and then a couple of debug objects like these shovels and that little bucket, and then just some toys and stuff scattered around. And I also used the sand that came with Island Living. I'm not sure if the base game sand works for your Sims to be able to build sand castles in. I think it does, but I'm not exactly sure. So I placed that sand because I wanted your Sims to actually be able to build sand castles in the sand and be able to play in it. But here I'm moving on to the interior, and I am finally using the kitchen stuff. So this is the country kitchen stuff from the kit pack. Or one of the kits that we got, and I had not got the opportunity to use it in a build. I had tried building another build actually here in Brindleton Bay that just did not work out for me. And it's kind of unfortunate because I think it would have been a really cute house, but I just could not get the interior to work for the life of me. And like I mentioned in previous builds, I don't want to share something that I'm not 100% happy with, or at least tried my best and I'm happy with it enough to share it, and that one just was not it. And so yeah, I'm finally using it here. It's perfect for this house. It suits the style perfectly. I love this green swatch. It's so cute, and I love all of the different decorations. Like this kitchen stuff it's really amazing. I love all of the clutter, and honestly, I forgot to use the clutter here at first, but when I go to decorate the living room, I find some of the clutter and then I go and place it in here, because I think the reason I forgot about it is because it's not in the regular like decorations category or the clutter category. It's in the statues category of the build and buy menu, and I'm not really sure why those items are there. It seems kind of odd to me, and so I think that's why I didn't find them when I was decorating the kitchen and forgot about them. But thankfully I found them, so that's the only downside other than some of the color swatches to this pack to me. I mean, I love the textures, the colors are all beautiful, but some of the combinations are a bit odd in my opinion. Like there's this one light blue swatch that I think is really pretty, but then the curtains are pink. And I think it just makes it a bit hard to use, at least for my decorating style, because I do like things to look a little bit more neutral and natural, and having that pop of pink looks out of place in my opinion. So it's not what I would choose, and I really wish they would have done something a little bit more neutral or made them in a way that we could change it or something. I don't know, let me know if you guys agree, but that's how I felt about them. But either way, here I'm just adding a ton of clutter. I really wanted this kitchen to be cluttered and decorated. So honestly, maybe one of the parents is like a chef or something, or maybe if one of them does stay home, they cook a ton and they're like really into baking and cooking. And so that's why this kitchen is so cluttered and messy. And over here, I actually end up switching up these decorations later on once I find the kitchen clutter from the kit pack, or the country kitchen kit pack. It's too many cuss sounds, but over here I'm just adding a few decorations that I end up actually mixing up here pretty soon. Oh, and then I found this birdhouse that came from Eco Lifestyle, and I just had to place it in the yard because it suits this build perfectly. It's so cute. And also I love this kitchen table. These chairs from the Paranormal Stuff pack are my new favorite chairs, which you guys have probably noticed if you've watched any of my most recent builds since that package came out, because I think I've used them in every build, or just about every build, because I love them. I think they're beautiful and I want them in real life. But over here is going to be the dining room, and I really like the way the dining room turned out. I use one of the new objects that we got from one of the latest updates, where we got the custom created objects from some Sims players, and this table was created by Harry and it's beautiful. I love it, and I thought it paired nicely with these chairs from Cats and Dogs, and I just think the dining room turned out really nice. I put this hutch in here that came from Jungle Adventure, and saying all of those different packs really made me realize just now how many packs I did use. And so I know that's not what everybody would prefer. I mean, it's very expensive to get all of the packs, but hopefully you guys kind of appreciate me trying to blend the different styles. And yeah, I don't know. But either way, I thought the hutch looked really pretty in here, and also that high back chair from Cats and Dogs is one of my favorite chairs in game, and I use it in basically every sort of like country, cozy, homey build that I do, and it comes in so many color swatches that I think makes it so versatile. And here I decided to use it in this yellow and green color, which I think that yellow is kind of crazy and might not be everybody's favorite, but I really like it. I think that kind of like mustardy yellow color is really pretty, and I think it suits this build, and plus the green kind of complemented the color scheme that I was going for. But over here is the back door area, and here I decided to use that statue that is also from Cats and Dogs that you can find in the live edit objects. It's like a little fisherman. You can find it over in like the wharf area in like the world, and I just thought it looked really cute here. So it's kind of like a fun statue to include. And there is added some wreaths to the front and back door. I should have added one to the side door because I did not do that. But either way, I thought those were pretty. And then here is the downstairs bathroom. It's just a nice, simple, standard bathroom. Really not that exciting. The upstairs bathrooms are a lot more interesting because I tried to make them more interesting. And that one was just kind of small to really be able to add too much. But over here is the entryway. And as always, I added a coat rack, an umbrella rack, shoe rack, and a mirror. I think I add those in just about every single entryway I've ever done. And here I did actually use a new artwork that we got from the latest update, and the swatch is pretty. I end up using that same artwork in a couple of different swatches in the hallway leading to the bedrooms upstairs. And at first I do place the same painting that I used right next to the staircase on the first floor. But when I went to go take the screenshots, I realized that I repeated myself, and so I do switch it up. So you'll probably notice that in the screenshots. Actually, I don't think you will, because I don't think I took a screenshot of the hallway because it's a very narrow, minimally decorated hallway. But either way, you'll see it if you decide to download the build. But over here is the laundry room. I really like the laundry room. I did include a litter box in there because I did imagine this family would have a cat. But there is only one food bowl, but it's the food bowl where you can add extra food to it so they can use it a lot longer. Kind of like a self-feeding one, or I'm not sure the actual name for those. But either way, I kind of think that I should have added two, since I imagine they would have a cat and a dog, and I think they probably should have separate food bowls. But either way, that's an easy fix if you kind of are thinking along the same lines as me. But this is the mud room area that I was talking about. So it's also kind of like a skill building garden room. I'm calling it a mud room because it's next to the garden and there's the laundry room right attached to it. So I imagine you would come in here with your dirty clothes from the garden and you could easily just wash your clothes, and you wouldn't have to track like mud and dirt throughout the house. But I originally was placing a side table right there and adding decorations to it, but then I felt like this space could be more usable because there's not really that many usable objects in there, because the gardening bench is purely decorative. While it's very pretty, you can't do anything with it. And so I thought adding a computer desk would make the space a lot more functional, because the children's Sims could sit there and do homework, or your other Sims could sit there and, you know, pull out a laptop, or you could place a desktop there. I just didn't think a desktop would really suit this build, or at least look that pretty there, because I thought it would block the decorations that I wanted to include. But here is the living room. So for a moment, I thought about creating like this big built-in cabinet thing for the TV, and yeah, it was a bit much for this room, and then I had like no room for the couches, so it didn't quite suit this build. But I think what I ended up doing with the bookcases and that side table from Jungle Adventure actually worked really nicely. But here you can see I found the decorations from the Kit Kitchen stuff. I knew they were there, I just for some reason forgot about them, because I have looked at this pack quite a bit and tried to build with it before. It just didn't quite work out in my other builds. But yeah, like I said, they're in a weird category. I wish they would just be in this, like the regular miscellaneous decorations or like the clutter decorations category instead of the statues. I feel like it just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, for them to be there. And I'm worried that I'll forget about them more because it's an odd place for them. But I'm sure, as like most things in the game, I will just get used to where they are and I will remember them eventually. But either way, I'm happy I found them. And over here, I decided to merge this side table in with the piano. I've done this a ton, or keyboard rather. I've done that a ton to make like a regular stand-up piano, and it functions, it works perfectly, and it looks pretty good, I think. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks pretty good in my opinion. So I'm really pleased with it, and I thought it looked nice over there, and it just kind of adds another activity here in the living room. And then over here, I wanted there to be like a bench or something that your Sims could sit on, but I couldn't find one that I thought looked nice. So I ended up using this one that came from, I think, Eco Lifestyle. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the pack it came with. And it's supposed to be a table, so you're supposed to put decorations on it, but I left it empty because I feel like it looks like a wicker bench. So that's what I did. Hopefully you guys don't mind. But here I'm just cluttering up the top of the fireplace. And then here I found another object from the kitchen pack. Oh, that is a little casserole dish, which is one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I had no space to put it, so I just ended up placing it on top of the stove like I did one of the other objects. And I think it actually looks pretty cute up there. So anyways, over here is going to be the hallway leading to the bathroom and the play area and the bedrooms. And I just put a few decorations in here. Really, the hallway is very skinny and narrow and doesn't really allow for much decorations. But there you probably saw that I added this new painting in a couple of different swatches, but I used the same one that I used at the bottom of the staircase. So I do swap it out for another option that we got in the same update. So yeah, no big deal. It was an easy fix. And then over here is going to be the shared bathroom for the kids. And so this is the bathroom that I was talking about, that if you really wanted to have another bedroom, you could turn this into a bedroom. It would be pretty small. I think it works much better as a bathroom, but if you wanted a larger family, but honestly, we have bunk beds now, so you could easily add bunk beds to the bedroom and have a bunch of kids in each of the rooms and just like stack them all in there. But I love the way this bathroom turned out. I tried to do something that was similar to my other bathrooms. Like, it looks like a bathroom I would make, but it feels a bit different. I don't know what about it exactly, because all of the things I've done before, I don't know if it's just like the extra clutter or the decorations that I used or the style that I was going for, but it felt kind of refreshing in my opinion, and I just really like the way it turned out. And also, I love that hanging planter with the ivy that came from the paranormal stuff. I used it several different times throughout this whole build, and it's just so pretty, like the texture, and I just love how it's like trailing. It's beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. But over here is going to be the master bedroom. So I decided to go with this bed from Cats and Dogs, and I paired it with these lamps that came from Jungle Adventure. And some of you guys, I feel like, might not like them paired together because they are completely different styles. But I felt like they kind of worked, and I don't know, felt kind of unique, and I just really liked them. So I thought they were pretty. It's an easy fix if you guys disagree. But anyways, over here I do have a dresser that came from Cats and Dogs. I thought this green color again was perfect. It was so pretty in my opinion. And then I just cluttered it up with a few different decorations. I used this little cow plant terrarium. I'm not sure if that's what you would call it, but I placed that on here, and I think that is such a cool object. And I also ended up placing the cow plant statue that came from, oh, what was it, Discovery University, in one of the kids' rooms. And so maybe they have a cow plant. I was thinking about planting one in the yard, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I kind of feel like I should before I upload it to the gallery, because I feel like you should download this house with a cow plant. I will try to remember to. If I forget, then I'm very disappointed in myself. But either way, over here is going to be the ensuite bathroom to the parents' bedroom. So I think you could probably make it to where your Sims could walk to this bathroom. Maybe you would have to rearrange it, but make it accessible from the hallway and then turn that other bathroom into a bedroom. So if you wanted to do that, that's how I would do it. But either way, I think it works much better as an ensuite bathroom. And I really love the way this bathroom is decorated too. I think this flower arrangement that I put in between the sinks is pretty. And I really also like that table that I wanted to put in between the sinks as well. But part of it did poke through the sink, and I didn't realize it till a little bit later. So I ended up swapping it out for just a different side table with some clutter items that look like they would belong in a bathroom. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked the way it looked originally, but either way, I like the way it looks at the end, and the flower arrangement, like I said, is very, very pretty. And I like all of the clutter and decorations that I add like around the sink. Like it just feels so lived in and decorated, and like these Sims actually use this bathroom. So it's one of my favorite bathrooms that I've done in a long time anyways. But over here is going to be the kids' rooms. So the first kids' room, like I mentioned, I was starting off thinking of it more as like a teen or preteen, and I was going to go with this music theme, and I placed this bed, but it just felt like something that I've done a lot, and honestly I've done recently in an apartment renovation, so it just felt kind of repetitive. And you probably noticed that I started off by looking at the bunk beds and thinking that I was going to maybe have a couple of kids in one of the rooms or two of the rooms, but for these rooms it just felt like the window placement and stuff just really didn't work that great for bunk beds, so I decided against it. But of course you could make it work. I mean, yeah, I think you can make it work really easily. I just decided not to. But either way, here I'm placing the decorations that I was originally going to use, but I end up changing it all up and turning it into a more kiddish room, less teenagery, and adding different activities that I thought suited a kid that likes the outdoors a little bit more. And like I was saying, I feel like they're a bit hyper and they like to like climb trees and climb the monkey bars and play. I wish the Sim kids could climb trees. That would be so cute. But this house would have been perfect for a tree house. I need to build a tree house again soon, I realize. But either way, I just feel like this kid is very active, and they're in the Cub Scouts or whatever the Scouts are called in The Sims 4. And other than that, I placed a bookshelf in here. There is a dresser that came from Parenthood. I love this dresser. It comes in like so many great swatches. And then over here I placed this base game chair, and I just thought the color kind of suited the color scheme that I was going for. And then I try a few different options here above the dresser for like artwork, and I end up placing this really cute thing that I think came from Parenthood, if I remember correctly. But I actually end up placing the poster, like framed poster that came from what was it? Get Famous. My goodness, there's so many packs to remember the names of. But I end up placing that framed poster. You'll see it here in a moment. And then I merge it in with this like collage thing. Well, it's not really a collage, but it's a collage of boards or wall art, I'm gonna call it, that came from Parenthood. But you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a moment. I moved these together, and it covers up part of it, so it makes it look like it's a little bit of a different wall hanging display, and I just thought it looked really nice. And then I used the ladybug rug because this kid, I think, likes bugs and maybe collecting bugs, and yeah, they just like being outside, so I felt like that kind of added to it. And then I just add a couple of posters. They also have the cork board with the different postcards and stuff on it, so I thought that was kind of nice. And then also I end up swapping out the journal on the side table for the Cub Scouts journal instead. And then over here is going to be the other kids' room. So this kids' room ends up being very pink, and that color scheme was obviously spurred on by the bed and the wallpaper. This wallpaper is so cute with the little hearts on it. Like, I can't stand it. It's so adorable. Unfortunately, this room is pretty small. I wish it was bigger, but that's just kind of how it worked out with the floor plan. But I still think I made it work, and there's a lot of different activities in here, and it feels, I think, fully decorated but not too cramped. At least I think it does. But either way, as I was decorating it, I was trying to think of the personality of the Sim that lived in this room, and I think this kid loves to travel. So the first thing that I thought of was placing those postcards next to the bed, the ones that came from my first pet stuff, because they have like the Eiffel Tower and the pyramids, and they just like look like, you know, destinations, like travel destinations. So this kid loves to travel and they love to take pictures, so I gave them a pretty nice camera. It's one of the nicest, if not the nicest camera in the game. So I feel like the parents bought it for them for like, you know, Christmas or their birthday or something, and it was like a huge present, and it's something they begged for, or maybe they even saved up their own money. Maybe they saved their allowances or did like side jobs, like mowed lawns or cleaned up around the house and just saved up their money and bought the camera themselves. That's a pretty cool idea. I do like that. So I think there's a lot of different possibilities if you wanted to kind of tell a story with it. But either way, this is going to be the playroom. So like I mentioned, if you want another bedroom, you could easily turn this into another bedroom. It would be kind of a small bedroom, but an interesting shaped one. And honestly, originally I was planning on making this a toddler room, but then I felt like a playroom would be more usable, and it would give me an opportunity to use extra kids items for them to interact with that I couldn't fit in their bedroom. So I'm really happy with the way it turned out, because there's lots of different activities in here, and I think it's super fun with like all the posters and stuff. And I just really enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys will like it too, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this build, because we are coming up on the screenshots. And yeah, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
In your town, people had a certain walk and a certain frown, steady and heavy, or younger than 20. Put some color on those cheekbones. It's never too late for you to get well known. We'll teach you to blush and how to get your way. Useful tricks. Once you get the taste of it, you lay all them bricks. Higher and higher, you'll reach your desire. Put some color on those cheekbones. It's never too late for you to get well known. And when they do, they'll cherish you. And when they do, they'll cherish you. Yes, when they do, they'll cherish you. When they do, they'll cherish you. Put some color on those cheekbones. It's never too late for you to get well known. Put some color on those cheekbones. Oh, it's never too late for you to get well known. You always dreamed of making it big in your town. People had a certain walk and a certain frown,